Viewers, the Madras High Court has passed a scathing order against Udhayanidhi Stalin today. The DMK scion, who is also minister in his father's government in Tamil Nadu, has been accused of compromising constitutional principles by calling for the eradication of Sanatana Dharma in a speech he gave in September last year. The High Court believes that his rebukes directed at Sanatanis or Hindus are divisive and not historically founded or grounded. Though the court stopped short of accepting a plea to declare Stalin, another DMK minister, unsuitable to hold office, its ruling leaves the door open for criminal prosecution of Stalin Jr. or even his sacking from office. This is what the court said in sum today. Such divisive statements should not have been made. Udhayanidhi and other leaders acted against constitutional principles, equating Sanatana to dengue, malaria and HIV, spreads misinformation, verify historical facts before making remarks on Sanatana Dharma. It also went on to say that constitutional post holders can't attend events calling for eradication of Sanatana Dharma. Viewers, the High Court has taken umbrage at the DMK scion's invidious words, comparing Sanatana Dharma to HIV, dengue and other afflictions that need to be eradicated. The DMK scion had also remarked that Sanatana Dharma is against equality, which should have led the wider public to single Hindus out for persecution and hate. The High Court order also puts the India bloc on the defensive on the question of communal harmony. The India bloc has always chosen to criticize the BJP for being the party that allegedly divides society. Now the India bloc has had to face the court's heat for 2 consecutive days over statements made by its second largest constituent, the DMK's members. Listen in, viewers, to what began this entire process of litigation in the courts. It was this remark by Udhayanidhi Stalin that led to the courts coming down hard upon him today.
சிலவற்றை நாம் ஒழிக்கத்தான் வேண்டும், எதிர்க்க முடியாது. கொசு, டெங்கு காய்ச்சல், மலேரியா, கொரோனா இதையெல்லாம் நம்ம எதிர்க்கக்கூடாது, ஒழித்து கட்ட வேண்டும். அப்படிதான் இந்த சனாதனம்.
Apart from Stalin Jr., the High Court's order puts India bloc on a spot. The leading party of the India bloc, the Congress, had taken apart the BJP when the Supreme Court had similarly rebuked the Saffron Party's spokesperson Nupur Sharma in another matter. At the time, the Congress had called upon the BJP to hang its head in shame and apologize to the entire nation. But at least up till now, the Congress has not taken a similar hard stance against the DMK or Udhayanidhi Stalin. The only time it has commented on Stalin's remarks, it has done so donning kids' gloves and adding the caveat that every party has the freedom to express its views. Let me take you through these 2 contrasting reactions from the Congress. In the Nupur Sharma matter, the Congress said, and I quote it, "The court has very lightly called out the BJP spokesperson for being single-handedly responsible for igniting emotions across the country, and she should apologize to the entire nation. These remarks by the Supreme Court, which resonate with the entire country, should make the party in power hang its head in shame." These words were spoken in September last year, viewers, when a brouhaha broke out as the Supreme Court ripped into Nupur Sharma. And these words were spoken by Jairam Ramesh, Congress General Secretary and the putative head of the Congress Party's media cell. Now contrast these harsh words with the, as I said, kid's glove approach, metaphorically kid's glove approach to the DMK and Mr. Stalin. This is what the Congress General Secretary K.C. Venugopal said. He said, our view is clear. Sarva Dharma Sambhava, which is respect for all religions, is the Congress ideology. But you have to understand, every political party has the freedom to tell their view. We are respecting everybody's belief. So viewers, here the Congress gives benefit of doubt to the DMK. There it asks the BJP to hang its head in shame and get Nupur Sharma and of course its leading lights to apologize to the nation. Is the Congress party silenced then? Or viewers, its decision not to comment on what the High Court has said a sign that it doesn't rate abuse against Hindus seriously enough to criticize its ally, the DMK? This is a fundamental question that can also be asked of the DMK's other partners in the India bloc. Viewers, let's put this question up for debate tonight. This is a point of inflection. As I began by saying just a few moments back, all this while the India bloc single-handedly holds up the BJP and its allies in the NDA for the ones responsible for spreading divisiveness in our society. Today the shoe is on their own feet. And viewers, you are judging their stand by the deafening silence that accompanies it. So I want to first begin with Dr. Anand Ranganathan this evening. Dr. Ranganathan, look, we have spoken about the Supreme Court's perhaps, and I don't know if these words will get me in trouble, but its reaction, it's, some people say over the top reaction, at least that's what a large number of people said, in the Nupur Sharma matter, almost prejudging her case. Here the High Court comes out and takes a line which is equally scathing of Mr. Stalin, but we don't see the India bloc in all its so-called secular liberal card-carrying members barely utter a word. I mean, in fact, there's been no reaction.
Good evening, Rahul. I hope it doesn't get you in trouble. You're in trouble already. A couple of points.
Well, you know the way out. So you won a case. So you probably will give me some tips on how to fight for myself in court. So I'm counting on you. Tips. And it must be pro bono,
huh? There are no tips. I'll just pass on Jay Sai's telephone number to you. That should do it.
He's wonderful.
No, but Rahul, couple of points here. Number one, I think you're right. We have exposed the hypocrisy of the honorable courts enough times. There is no doubt about it. The Supreme Court has a standard. The Supreme Court has a standard. Sorry, did I say that twice? Double standard? Okay, right. No, look, it's been 6 months. 6 months since Mr. Udhayanidhi Stalin made those egregious remarks. And the fact that the Tamil Nadu government did not file a case was in direct contempt of the Supreme Court ruling of last April, when it said that in all matters of hate speech, the state government must file a case suo motu. So either the state government does not believe what Udhayanidhi Stalin said was hate speech, in which case both the Supreme Court and the High Court are contradicting it, or the fact of the matter is, why would the state government try and arrest or file a case on one of its own? So there is a hypocrisy that needs to be addressed ASAP. But barring that, the question of your debate is the one which is moot. And here you are absolutely right. The whole Indie alliance, I'm afraid, is not just being hypocritical because that is what politicians do. This goes a bit deeper than that, Rahul. It's beyond hypocrisy. The Indie alliance has a history of hinduphobia. There I said it. And it's a fact. Many of its leaders deliberately call Yogi Adityanath as Ajay Bish, don't they? The name that he renounced after he became a yogi in accordance with his Mutt and Nath sect. But they never call the evangelist Mother Teresa by her real name of Anjes Gonjes Bojau. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Remember the statement by Jarkhiloli that Hindu has a dirty meaning and Indian should be ashamed of it? And by the way, who did Rahul Gandhi meet on his Bharat Joro Yatra? Yes, the virulently anti-Hindu pastor George Punaiya, who told him Jesus is the real God, not Shakti. Then there is Shivraj Patil, who claimed Lord Krishna taught jihad to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. Recall how the Mahila Congress leader Lavanya Balal made a Gaumutra jibe, same as the Pulwama bomber, and an alleged post by Congress youth wing leader Shaukat Ali called Hinduism a terrorist religion. A Goa Congress leader named Jalmi termed Hindu god Parashuram a terrorist and a rapist. Congress mouthpiece National Herald routinely publishes Hindu-phobic articles, including the one where it said Hindu epics were replete with misogyny and Me Too instances. National Herald, remember, is owned by the Congress. Congress celebrate Tipu Jayanti despite knowing he demolished hundreds of temples and converted and butchered lakhs of Hindus. And who can forget? The phrase saffron terror was coined by the Congress and that it wanted to pass the communal violence bill, where only the majority, i.e. Hindus, would be held guilty in communal riot. Remember how the Congress blamed the Hindu RSS for the 26/11 terror attack? Had Kasab not been caught alive, Rahul, it is beyond doubt that the Congress would have fortified this theory. Then there was the Congress dispensation in 2004 that asked a Hindu Doordarshan anchor to not display his Hindu sacred symbol Kalava. Remember how Congress leaders publicly butchered a calf just to mock Hindu sensibilities in Kerala? On the other hand, I want to ask you, how many instances are there where the Congress has abused Islam or Islamic organizations? In fact, it demanded hanging of Kamlesh Tiwari for making a comment it considered Islamophobic, and its prominent leader fought against the banning of Simi. And remember how PM Manmohan Singh on the floor of our parliament demanded an apology from Denmark for profit cartoons. So the fact of the matter is, Rahul, this is nothing new. Every party of the Indie Alliance is Hindu-phobic, and the most amongst them is Congress.
Well, I mean, you're certainly not pulling your punches, Dr. Ranganathan, and you've substantiated your arguments with certain facts, certain happenstances. And I want to bring in Tehseen Poonawalla. You don't have to raise your finger, Tehseen Poonawalla. I'm obviously going to come out to you. You represent the Congress point of view. And I'm going to give you an opportunity to respond in toto to Dr. Ranganathan. But I have to ask you, preface this opportunity with a question. Now, the court has spoken. So this is not about, Dr. Ranganathan or our other dear friend here, Abhijit Iyer Mitra. This is now the court. And for full disclosure, I must put out that Suman C. Raman, Dr. Raman's wife, is the judge in this matter. So I'm not going to ask him anything about that particular case, because I understand that that would be conflict of interest. So we'll talk around that issue on larger point of why the DMK lurches towards this anti-sort of Sanatana instinct. But that I'll come to in just a few moments. I want to come back to you, Tehseen. The court has spoken. So why isn't the India bloc standing with the Hindus to denounce the DMK in the same words it denounced the BJP and Nupur Sharma? It's a very simple question tonight.
Thank you, Rahul, for having me on the show. I am starting with the expectation that I also won't be interrupted, just like Dr. Ranganathan, my older brother, isn't, and I would like to rebut him while answering your question. Yes, you're right on one part, and I concede to Dr. Ranganathan on one part, that all political parties, not the Congress, all political parties play to the galleries. The BJP, he spoke about 26/11, with the book release that Pakistan attacked, it wasn't Pakistan but RSS attacked India, was Kripa Shankar Singh ji, a proud member of the Bharatiya Janata Party today, then in the Congress, now a candidate from Uttar Pradesh. The man who coined the term RSS Sung Terror, Saffron Terror, is today a union minister in the BJP government for the last 5 years. The BJP took him in, welcomed him, and forgot it. Naresh Agarwal should have been prosecuted, said the late Arun Jaitley ji. Samajwadi Party kicked him out of the party. BJP took him in. His son is today a minister. Yesterday, your wonderful channel CNN News 18 was covering the swearing-in ceremonies of ministers in Uttar Pradesh. O.P. Rajbar, the statements he's made against Hinduism, is now a proud minister sitting in the Yogi Adityanath ji cabinet. This is the BJP for you. ऐसा कोई सगा नहीं जिसको भाजपा ने ठगा नहीं, ठगने वाली पार्टी है. But there is no speech for no room for hate speech. And where I disagree with Dr. Ranganathan is, I don't think Dr. Ranganathan is an absolute free speech absolutist. I think when it comes to matters of religion, you must be very, very restrained. And I think that what Udhayanidhi Stalin said was wrong. It amounted to hate speech. It definitely must be prosecuted. I don't know why he wasn't prosecuted by the Tamil Nadu government. However, he is facing several FIRs all across the country, and that's the matter why he went to court. But here's one quick fact before I end. You know what Udhayanidhi Stalin said is not very different from what his father, the late Karunanidhi ji, said. grandfather, I'm sorry. In fact, his grandfather said quite more dangerous issues about the great Hindu religion and made cartoons about Lord Ram, Lord Lakshman, Lord Sita. You know who went to meet Karunanidhi and invite him to join the ND Alliance? Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Please note my words. Karunanidhi ji did not go to Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji. Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji went to Karunanidhi ji after these statements and said, please join our alliance. And they continued to make those statements. The BJP is steeped in hypocrisy. And right now they've broken an alliance with the AIDMK. Tomorrow, if the Prime Minister does not get a majority, they'll be in an alliance with any of these two parties. Okay. The BJP is not a true representative of anybody. Should these statements be condemned? Yes. Should Stalin be prosecuted? Yes. But is the BJP the moral force? No. The BJP is worse off than the Congress. I say this with absolute authority. I don't need no lawyer to defend me. I stand by what I say.
So, you know, viewers, what I did today, just 30 seconds, I'm coming to you, Dr. Ranganathan, just 30 seconds. What I've done today is allowed Tehseen to speak. I allowed him to waste your time, viewers, completely. What was his defense? What was my question?
Why
and what
was
it?
No, I'll explain
it.
Unfair.
I promise you.
No, that's very unfair.
I promise I'll explain myself.
No, that's very unfair.
Arey bhai, let me explain myself, then you judge me.
It's unfair.
Okay.
Arey bhai, I'm your guest. I will answer the way I want. Why would you decide
to inform our guests, our viewers tonight. But what has he informed you of, viewers? What has he informed you of? So he says all political parties play to the game. My question was simple. Will the Congress, which might be a shade better in his opinion than the BJP, and that gives it the moral high ground to take positions on these issues, I simply asked him, will it stand up for Hindus by calling upon the DMK to hang its head in shame, quote unquote, and of course, prosecute Mr. Stalin, call for the prosecution of Mr. Stalin. Remember, they're in alliance, viewers, in the state and at the center. But his response were 5 responses to me. All political parties play to the gallery, so they're all cut from the same cloth, except, he said, for the Congress. Kripa Shankar Singh ji is in the BJP, so you see, the BJP is the worst, most hypocritical. Then there was more whataboutery. You can haul the BJP over the coals, Tehseen Poonawalla, but again, you have not responded to specific question I asked you. Then he said, yes, he must be prosecuted. I hope he is prosecuted. This is Mr. Stalin Jr. He must be prosecuted. Hopefully, he'll be done by the DMK government. But he forgets to tell us that that will only happen when there's pressure built on the DMK government, and perhaps the Congress that speaks this language of love, muhabbat, as Rahul Gandhi puts it, is in a position to pressure their ally. But no response to that. And lastly, he says, oh, even Karunanidhi did it, so more whataboutery. There's a lot of whataboutery, but no answer. The question was simple. Why hasn't the Congress opened its loud mouth on this particular issue? And it has a very loud one. Jairam Ramesh trolls me. He has enough time to even troll me, but not enough time to stand up for Hindu rights, viewers. Why, I wonder? Why? That's a fundamental question. I'm leaving it there, viewers. You didn't get it. One second. Now, there are other people on this panel. No, 1 second. Tehseen, I gave you 7 minutes by the watch.
Just one second. Not more than a statement. Not more than a statement. I do not like somebody trolling you. It's unfair. Whatever.
Thank you, sir.
No matter who.
Next time he does.
Next time he does. You as a journalist.
Okay. Next time he does. Thank you. I'm glad, because I respect myself and I don't ever do anything that I can't substantiate. And when I get it wrong, I apologize too, very clearly. And a lot of people have tried to call me up on certain things. You were there the last time Dr. Raman was there when he. Well, anyhow, forget it. We don't want to go down that side road. But Dr. Ranganathan, very quickly.
Very quickly, because I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take up the time of Abhijit and my good friend Dr. Raman, but just to correct slightly on what Tehseen has said. Largely what you've said, what Tehseen said is true. Tehseen indulged in whataboutery, but that's all right. He's right about his whataboutery. But when he said that, look, Dr. Ranganathan is a free speech absolutist, but when it comes to matters of religion, I think one must show a lot of discretion and respect. There I disagree, because Tehseen, who is to decide what is hate speech and what is not in matters of religion? I stood up for you when where FIR was filed against you and the matter went to court. When people took umbrage of your statements against a Jain monk. And you know what happened? The High Court said, ordered you to, pay up 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs it was. I disagreed with that. So do you mean to say that High Court was wrong? or people were wrong. It's all relative. That is why it pays. It makes sense to be free speech absolutist in all matters, because who is to decide, Tessin, whether you were right or you were wrong?
It clearly doesn't pay. You save money. Nonetheless, let me bring in Abhijit Iyer Mitra. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, look, I just want to ask you this fundamental question. Dr. Ranganathan has his own thesis. He puts it down to Islamophobia. What do you put it down to? This Congress's prevarication, or actually today silence, and the rest of the indie bloc, this TMC and the others who stand up so much for communal harmony and the rights of the minority.
So you see, Rahul, let's focus on Tamil Nadu. I'm not going to go into the TMC right now because that is another can of worms with Sandesh Kali if we want to go there. But you see, in Tamil Nadu, have you heard the saying, beggars can't be choosers? You see, the Congress can't win a municipal council election in Tamil Nadu without the DMK or a piche. DMK or a piche means DMK ka bheek. They're literally like a party that goes around in Tamil Nadu saying, "Ay baba paisa de dena, ay do kaudi de dena, khana khana hai karke." So you have to understand, this is a very faithful little beggar who has to stand outside the master's house and get whatever crumbs are thrown at it in Tamil Nadu. They can't win squat in Tamil Nadu. So they have to be what they are in Tamil Nadu, but that is not the issue. The double standards of the Congress are legion. The problem out here is, what exactly is hate speech? What is the justiciable standard of hate speech? Even if you go into the Supreme Court judgment on this, they have no clear definition of hate speech. And the problem with not having clear definitions, what you're seeing in the double standards here in Nupur Sharma and this particular case, is the very fact that our judges don't seem to get that the law is the law because it is consistent in its application. The lack of consistency in the law equals tyranny. This is number one. Number two, Tehseen brought up the issue of Atal Bihari going to Karunanidhi's house and Naresh Agarwal in the cabinet. You see, people evolve, people grow. Karunanidhi used to say all these things about the Hindu Dharma. He also used to wear a black tunda. He changed that to a saffron. Check out his the last 10 years of his life. He started wearing a saffron tunda around his neck. He started going to a temple. He stopped all his invective against Hinduism in the last years of his life. And that had a lot to do with the BJP coming close to him. Same with Naresh Agarwal. I'm sure he's free to change his opinion, just as I'm free to change my opinion. And Anand, Tehseen, all of us are free to change our opinion. The next thing is, you see, when we're talking about change of opinion, there is also something called a consistency of opinion. So let's leave aside Congress being a beggar in Tamil Nadu. You see, there is a consistency in what all the India Alliance partners say. Rahul starts off with India is a union of states. Then his party man, a week or 2 weeks back, Iltiyaj or whatever his name is, shouts in the Karnataka Assembly, Pakistan Zindabad. Then Rahul's ally, Mr. Udhayanidhi Stalin, calls for Sanatana Dharma to be exterminated. Vorikano is exterminated. It is a genocidal word. Vorikano means completely exterminated. And then A. Raja, you heard what he said. India is not a country, and Rama Cheethu, whatever he said. Okay. This is a consistent pattern in the India Alliance. This is their ideology.
Okay.
You see, there is no point in trying to shift the standards here. This is their ideology. This is what they want to do, because, see, they are desperate now. They have to get whatever votes they can. They are only aiming for minority votes, and that too, particularly extremist minority votes. Okay. Most minorities also don't think like this.
So let me ask Dr. Raman this. Since you study, Tamil Nadu politics, etc., Dr. Raman, let me just ask you fundamentally, basic question. Are we to believe that by abusing Sanatan Dharma adherents and Sanatan Dharma, the DMK is rallying some sort of a vote bank, that there is actually a huge bunch of people who will vote them and the Congress because they stand up for people like Udhayanidhi Stalin who have a problem with the Sanatana Dharma? Is that what you are saying? Is that the overhang?
Rahul, first of all, let me do a quick fact check on what Mr. Mitra said. Mr. Karunanidhi never ever wore a saffron shawl. He wore a yellow shawl towards the last few years of his life. Second, he never went to temple. And third, he never, said pro-Hindu, specifically pro-Hindu things or whatever as Mr. Mitra. I don't know where he has got all this information from, but I'd be delighted if he can show me one photograph of Mr. Karunanidhi with a saffron shawl. So first, let's put facts out of the facts will have to be clarified because it's a very, very important statement that he made. And that because of the influence of the BJP, he became close. In fact, he is on record during the Ram Setu case when he was asked, he actually replied, he asked which engineering college did Lord Ram study. So this whole thing is completely factually incorrect. So I want to place that on record. The second part is, look, the India alliance has come together for one reason, which is to defeat the BJP. They have very clearly said that they are not parties with the same ideology.
Sir,
they are not
I think Dr. Ranganathan has something to point out. You want to see the screen?
Apologies, Dr. Raman, but Karunanidhi ji did visit a temple. I'm just fact checking you live. Thank you.
No. Please tell me when. Please tell me towards the latter part of his life he visited temples. Please tell me.
September 28, 2010.
Which temple?
Now, please,
Which temple?
I'll forward.
No. I'm sorry. Administrative. Big temple. 1 second.
He's telling you.
1 second. No. What was the occasion? What was the occasion?
Occasion doesn't matter.
No. The Tanjavur big temple is considered the Chola Empire's. 1 second, sir. 1 second, sir. 1 second. Please don't.
His position in the Congress, but please, you're not taking anyone for a ride. Keep your oversmart.
Okay, gentlemen. 1 second, Dr. Raman. Dr. Raman.
Sumitra, tell me, what is a Manjal Tunde? What is a Manjal Tunde? Is it a religious cloth? Yes or no? Manjal Tunde,
there is no saffron tunde that he ever wore. You said saffron. You said saffron 3 times.
Yo, Manjal Tunde enniya.
Okay, if he's going to talk like this, I have nothing to say.
No, but Dr. Raman, on one point you've been fact-checked live by Dr.
No, that is wrong.
Ranganathan.
That is wrong, Rahul. If you don't allow me to complete.
Yeah, okay, you complete. Let him complete. Let him complete. 1 second.
1 second. The Brihadishwara temple at Tanjavur is a symbol of Chola architectural marvel. People, irrespective of whether they are atheists or believers, go to the temple. With that, to say that the BJP influenced him to visit temples and Mr. Karunanidhi visited temples is completely factually untrue.
Okay, viewers, I just need to step in here because we are running out of time. I just 1 second. You see, we are running out of time. I just need to step in here. There is now evidence. There is evidence produced by Mr. Iyer Mitra live and Dr. Ranganathan. Now, whether he went there to see this temple architecture or he went there to... Let me finish.
Show me the saffron cloth. Rahul, please don't behave like that.
Okay, gentlemen, let's be okay. Forget it. Let's not stick on these little things. You have made your points now. Okay. Yeah, Dr. Raman, finish. I asked you a completely different question. You went in another direction. So I was asking you, are there people who will vote for DMK because of this?
He identified himself as an atheist, as a rationalist. He never visited
I really didn't ask you this question. You got into this and now you have positioned...
Why not you do one thing? Yes. Why not you do one thing? If I am factually incorrect, as these two people seem to be suggesting, please call Mr. Stalin and ask him to clarify.
Sir, why don't you dial his number? You might have his direct number. Okay, look, 1 second. Okay, now viewers. Okay, I don't want to let this debate now completely get hijacked by a tutu meme. The point is, okay, Dr. Raman, please, I beg you, sir, please just roll back to 30 seconds, please. I need to take a break now. Please, just give me, please, let's just calm down all of us. Look, the point is, viewers, I still don't know if divisive politics is the answer to rallying people behind your plank. I hope better sense prevails in Tamil Nadu. I'll take a short break because the High Court has come out and given you the reasons why this is a problem. The Congress really needs to find its spine and speak up if it really believes that it is practicing Mohammed ki Rajniti.